I'm going to show you a bunch of creative ways to combine modern AI tools to get way more mileage from your footage. And trust me, some of these results are completely mind-blowing. Before we dive into the deep end, here's the good news. You do not need to be a visual effects genius or spend weeks stitching frames together to get professional results. With the right combination of tools, you can create incredibly believable shots and, more importantly, turn those shots into a massive stack of short, platform-ready clips that actually perform. That is exactly where Vizard comes in, and I will show you exactly how it fits into your workflow to save you hours of manual labor. There has been massive hype around new image-to-video tools, and you have probably seen platforms like Kling doing insane effects like crumbling ground or cars dissolving into dust. This new generation of models is brilliant for dynamics and realism, especially when you use the image-to-video function with a still frame from your original clip. You simply drop your screenshot into the tool, use a tight, descriptive prompt, and it generates a simulated sequence that perfectly matches your original camera movement. It even handles complex physics like crumbling tiles or smoke simulations, which keeps your handheld motion feeling totally continuous. When you edit that back with your original footage and add sound, you get a cinematic VFX shot that looks way more expensive than it actually was. Creating that attention-grabbing moment is amazing, but it leaves us with a practical question. How do you get the most value out of those few seconds of footage? This is where Vizard becomes completely invaluable to your process. Instead of manually trimming, captioning, and resizing a dozen short clips, Vizard automatically identifies the viral moments and creates platform-ready edits for you. So, you use your VFX tool to create that striking moment, and then you run the whole session through Vizard to churn out Reels, Shorts, and TikToks with proper aspect ratios. It is a highly efficient pipeline. Create the VFX, and then let Vizard do the heavy lifting of turning that one video into a massive stack of content. Let me walk you through a concrete example so you can see the flow in action. Imagine I shot some handheld garden clips and wanted the ground to fall away. I took a screenshot at the exact frame I wanted, imported it into my AI tool, and prompted for a sinkhole with smoke while specifically mentioning handheld footage for consistency. The result was a short, realistic sequence of tiles breaking, which I then fed into Vizard to detect the emotional peak of the clip. Vizard then sliced it into multiple versions, a 15-second teaser, a high-impact hook for Reels, and a 30-second cut for YouTube with proper context. Then, I simply used Vizard's built-in scheduling to make sure those posts went out across all my social platforms without me having to babysit the process. Let us look at a second example involving a static shot of a hill, where I imagined a massive tsunami wave rolling over the horizon. The AI added a beautiful, subtle handheld zoom to the water flow, and again, Vizard was the key to scaling that into punchy, atmospheric content. Without this automation, I would have spent hours exporting, resizing, and reformatting every single variation for different platforms. Now, let us talk about multi-element workflows, which let you swap, add, or delete objects in a scene, like turning a pumpkin into a creature or replacing a dog with something wilder. When you do a swap, keep the background steady and use a clean reference image, or even use a background remover tool beforehand to get those crisp alpha layers. Once you have that perfect multi-element clip, you feed it to Vizard, and it creates your repostable variants automatically instead of you cropping everything manually. The Inpainting or delete feature is also wild, allowing you to click any object like a basketball or a person, and the AI fills in the background convincingly. For trickier shots, it does a remarkably good job of reconstructing the environment, leaving you with a clean clip ready for Vizard to slice and dice. The Add mode lets you place new elements like city skylines or animated creatures into your scene, making them perfect, unexpected hooks for short videos. Now, a realistic note on costs. VFX tools often price per clip, so it makes sense to create your effect once, then let Vizard create all your social versions from that single source. Think of it as a creative multiplier. You use the expensive tools for the big impact, and Vizard for the high-volume distribution that brings the views. To get started, try using free stock footage from sites like Pexels or Pixabay to test your VFX ideas and learn the tools without burning through your credits too fast. The core reason I am so excited about this setup is that while the creative possibilities of AI VFX are huge, consistency and scale are the real bottlenecks for creators. You can craft one amazing cinematic moment, but to grow a channel, you need dozens of short, platform-tailored posts scheduled throughout the week. Vizard does not replace your VFX tool. It complements it by handling the auto-editing, the scheduling, and the content calendar management. If your VFX tool is your special effects artist, Vizard is your dedicated content distribution engine, and that is how you turn a single moment into a whole week of growth. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see a full step-by-step demo of this workflow, let me know in the comments and consider liking and subscribing for more.